So I'm here at Chartres in France. This is the back end of Chartres Cathedral. Actually, I believe it's just pronounced Chartres in French, but obviously that word doesn't have very good connotations in English. But yeah, I mean, it's a very beautiful building. Like, this is just the back end, like, the front is more impressive, but this is still quite impressive in its own right. But it just gives you an idea of like the sheer amount of craftsmanship and work that went into these buildings. Like, it often would take like multiple lifetimes to complete a cathedral like this. It wasn't just slapped together in no time like a lot of the crap they build today. And I know there's been some attempts to like build like new large scale cathedrals, but a lot of them just look fake and G slur because they use like modern materials, modern methods, and they're kind of just slapped together quickly. Like, I've only seen like the only good example I've seen of a Christian cathedral, like a large scale one that was completely built from the ground up recently, is that one in Moscow. I forget the name. It's like white with large golden domes, I believe. Well, also there was another one in Russia, the military cathedral that was in kind of like this interesting like Art Nouveau style that's a bit like based on traditional styles, but a bit different. But like, okay, those two might be the exceptions. But like, for instance, that new one in Romania they're building this massive new Orthodox church in Romania, and it's imitating traditional styles, but it just frankly looks like crap. And same with that one in Brazil. Like, there's one in Brazil that's like, I think like the second biggest cathedral on earth after St. Peter's. There's a shrine or something to like Lady Fatima, or I don't know, something like that. And it's just it looks fake. Like, if you look at it, it looks big, and it looks like the rough shape of a historic cathedral. But when you look at it in more detail, you're like, something about this just doesn't look right. Like, it has this uncanny valley vibe. And I think that's what you get when you use the modernist methods and materials. And it's just really different compared to something like this, where everything used traditional methods. It was all crafted with care, with very in a very deliberate fashion, and you can just see the difference. But I mean, it also speaks to the idea of like, okay, people talk about like, oh, architecture taste is subjective. Anything, it's like, it's such bullshit. It's like, okay, it's subjective that shit smells bad. I mean, if I go up to a modernist and I punch them in the face, I could just ask them like, well, why are you complaining? The idea that pain is bad is subjective, you know? Like, oh, I punched you in the face and you didn't like it. How was I supposed to know that? Because isn't it subjective, the idea that pain is bad? You know, like, some people are into that shit, right? Like, you get like the kinky types. So it's like, who are you to say that pain is objectively bad? You know, who are you to say that me punching you in the face is objectively bad? So it's like, yeah, I think that's honestly the best argument to modernists. Just punch them in the face and say that pain is not objectively bad, because they're all about like, oh, what's objective versus subjective. Like, it's such a red herring of a debate. And by the way, I'm joking. Don't actually punch people in the face, like, unless we're in an active war situation. But don't just randomly punch people in the face. Like, we're not at war officially yet. Um, but yet. But anyway, my point is like the objectivity versus subjectivity debate, it's kind of a moot point, because it's like, so what? You know, it's like, so what if there's like 1% of people out there who actually think that like a glass cube or like some 1990s style McDonald's is more beautiful than this? Those people are weird and messed up in the head, and they're a minority, and their preferences shouldn't dictate the types of buildings that we have. And why is it that people who talk about subjectivity, it's always to cater to people who like modernism? It's like, okay, what if I subjectively like traditionalism? Oh, I guess my opinion doesn't matter, nor do the opinions of like, many people. Like, the majority, according to studies that I've seen, like the vast majority of people do prefer traditionalism over modernism. Now, granted, there's the question, even if they prefer traditionalism over modernism, what about when you take into account the price tag attached to traditionalism, especially in cases of elaborate buildings like this? And it's like, okay, fair enough. There is that to take into account. But I'm just saying, like, the whole subjectivity thing, it's kind of a moot point. Like, does it matter? And why is this argument only used for architecture? Like, people don't use this argument for, like, movies, for instance. They're like, oh, we should deliberately make movies as shitty and unappealing as possible. Because it's subjective whether a movie's good or not. So we should literally just make Ass from Idiocracy and put that in the cinemas because, hey, it's subjective that Ass is a bad movie. Who are you to say that Ass doesn't deserve the best screenplay award? You know? It's funny how in cases like this, it's like the dumb and the smart. This is really a horseshoe theory thing where there's like, yeah, there's a bit of a bell curve or an example of horseshoe theory here where the really dumb and the really so-called smart people agree on this issue that like, oh, Ass deserves best screenplay. But yeah, it's a beautiful cathedral. One thing I noticed, there's a number of statues, like not the majority or anything, but some of the statues have been beheaded, and I can't help but wonder, was this something that happened deliberately or by accident? And if it was deliberate, who did it? Was it Muslims? Was it like black metal fans? Like who? Like honestly, those are the two groups that my mind jumps to first. Either Muslims or like, you know, certain types of metal fans. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure the exact circumstances, but it's very sus. Let me say that. Like the ones that are beheaded more tend to be the ones that would be more easy for a person to behead. So it's like the idea that it was the elements. It's like, well, if it was the elements, if it was just happened on its own, then why does it seem to be the ones that are closer to the ground level? But anyway, yeah, like it's disgusting that people would do that regardless of whether they're motivated by Muhammad or by Varg. But either way, it's like people should not do that, and people should be punished very strictly for doing that. Like I'm all for like very harsh sentences for that type of crime. Like the only people who I might go easy on is if they were like really, really mentally ill, but even then they should be in like an institution or something. Or I guess if it's like a young kid, but even they should be punished, but they should still be punished harshly, but it should still be taken into account. Like, okay, they're a kid, whatever. But yeah, overall, beautiful cathedral. This town as a whole is pretty beautiful, is quite beautiful from what I've seen so far. And yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it here.